Now, this is a much better match between these two. Markus Ruhl and GUNTER SCHLIERKAMP. Markus, of course, got the victory over Gunter in the last comparison from the 2004 Mr. Olympia, I believe? But anyway, I wish we had all good, clear pictures of both of these guys. But when you think about it, I think we're lucky to have what we have. This is 2002 for both gentlemen. The Night of Champions. For Markus Ruhl, 2002 Night of Champions. Markus Ruhl, this is one of the greatest physiques of all time. If you could take one physique from history, and if you could take another one, it would be GUNTER SCHLIERKAMP, 2002. Also, GNC Show of Strength. We're not going to be using the front relaxed. Really, the positioning is so much different. But I do like Markus a little bit better. That ab separation. We actually have a side position, a standing relaxed, a quarter turn. Yeah, Markus, he is quite a bit more muscular than Gunter. Gunter, he could be drier. We'll see as we get to the back shots, things of that nature. Of course. And this is a good one, guys. And I know I've had many requests for this one. So I'm excited. Let's jump into the front double bicep pose. And we do have a couple of good shots for this one. Fortunately. Unfortunately, the angle is a little bit different. So it's hard to get the sizes exactly. But, I mean, like I said, we're lucky to have these ones. I'm sure I'll get some comments saying, oh, Markus has synthel in those arms. But, I mean, come on, if I don't have the proof, really, can I say? I definitely like the limbs better for Markus. The arms, the legs, for sure, even the calves. But the all-important midsection, he is full. The conditioning is good for Markus, don't get me wrong, but he is full. He has a thick midsection. He doesn't have a high body fat percentage at all. I'm just saying he really carved up, and that's how you get that big, that vascular. You get that energy working. But either way, Gunter, that small waist, it could get him some points in further poses, but I'm going to go ahead and maybe give a slight edge to Markus, but it ain't a whole great big pose. Did I say ain't? Ain't is not a word. Markus, let's face it, he's just too muscular for the front lat spread. And like I said, you can see his waistline. It is a little bit distended, especially when you compare it to GUNTER SCHLIERKAMP. Wow, what a small little waist. Gunter, I think I've seen him a little bit bigger, maybe, but never with that combination of size and conditioning like this. This is an awesome version. So, I would wager to say, with the front relaxed position, side relaxed, Gunter was losing a little bit. He was also losing a little bit in the front double bi, but he's definitely winning in the front lat, so it's somewhat a tie. Side chest, and this one could get me in trouble, for sure. That Markus Ruhl is a mountain of muscle, and look at the size of his leg, the quad and the hamstring. Showing the glute there as well. No stomach distension at all here. Big, thick pec. Arm almost a little bit too dominant, I think. If he tilted a little bit thusly, he would show his pec a little bit more. But that is Markus Ruhl. That's the way he snaps the shot. Gunter is not out-muscling him by any means, but in my opinion, he is taking the pose. Look at the chest of Gunter. Now, this is one of the few gentlemen that are able to display that chest like Arnold used to. Wow, I just love it. But like I said, this is going to get me into trouble. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say Markus is smoking Gunter in the side chest. I think Gunter will be fetching a point in both side shots, to tell you the truth. So this is going to be a tough one for Markus to bounce back from. But who knows? It's basically pancake time for both of these guys, to steal a phrase from Mikey's Iron Rage. It is a situation where it's a thick midsection for Markus Ruhl and a thinner one for, of course, Gunter. Gunter, he's not as full, he's not as big, thick, vascular as Markus, but I think he is drier, he is more conditioned, and with that comes a small waist, and that alone gives Markus a disadvantage in the side pose. He can't hide the thick midsection. And Gunter, wow, paper-thin midsection. And this is just impressive. If you're not impressed by these two and their Christmas trees, then I don't know what sport you're watching, or if you even call this a sport. It doesn't matter what you call it. This is just unreal. These two, they could not have done any more that anybody asked from them as far as their training leading up to this, their conditioning, their dieting. I mean, it's just unreal. Gunter, he is almost matching the infamous Christmas tree, or the famous Christmas tree of the 2002 Night of Champions Markus Ruhl. Almost. I like Marcus's tree a little bit better, might be slightly better in the back, but it's all she wrote when you look at the legs and the glutes. Marcus, as dry as he was in that Christmas tree, he never quite nailed the striated glutes. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're very conditioned. But when you look at GUNTER SCHLIERKAMP, this is just unbeatable. Unbeatable. Not a mandatory shot, though. The rear lat spread, Marcus's back is just unreal. And so is Gunter's. Maybe not quite as good. Marcus has those delts to create a little bit of a framework. But clearly, again, guys, look at the glutes and the hamstrings. Maybe not as full as Gunter, but oh, here's a different one here. And actually, you know what? This one favors Gunter a little bit better. Look at how thick and wide his back is. So dry, so dry. I could see certain people giving this one to Markus Ruhl, the German giant, but not me. I'm going with Gunter all the way. Rear double bicep. Gunter still winning in the legs, still drier, still more striated. Glutes, hamstrings, no doubt. Marcus winning in the calves. Gunter not bad in that area. But this time, Marcus is back, and the arms, throw the biceps in there. He's definitely, clearly the winner. But this is a screenshot. This is distorting everything. I could have easily used this one here. Not nearly as good for Marcus. But in my opinion, as dry as Gunter is, it just looks a little bit awkward. His arms are too long, I think. And when you put the delts in the arms of Marcus in there in play, I think it is enough to get a slight edge in the rear double bi. But don't kid yourself. Gunter is getting a farther gap between these two in that rear lat spread, I think. On to the ab and thigh. And this is a situation where the less full version is going to take it, the drier version, which is, of course, GUNTER SCHLIERKAMP. I could see sometimes some versions of Marcus, the more leaner versions, of course, would win in the ab and thigh, but this is a case, of course, where Marcus, he is more favored being a little bit fuller. Oh, there's another one, an overhead, and this is what I like. I think it should be mandatory. You should have to at least do one overhead because it is very exposing. You get to have the fullness for the most musculars and things of that nature, but you're exposed in the ab and thighs. Look at Gunter. Not the best aesthetically, but wow, did he nail his conditioning. Just as dry could be. And he has some muscle in them quads as well. So in my opinion, taking a firm point here. The most muscular, most certainly, in my opinion, going to Markus Ruhl. He is as wide as a barn door a la Terminator for sure. Gunter. A little bit narrow, I think, in the crab position. Let's bring another one up here, and unfortunately, it's not a very clear picture of Gunter. Wish I had one. It actually looks a lot better for Gunter, this one, as opposed to his crab position. Is he beating Marcus? I don't know. Marcus looks like a freak, and that's what they called him. They called him a freak. A freak of nature. Just unbelievable pec development, delt development, and what a way to finish off this competition with a victory in the most muscular. And it is close between these two, and I'm sure I'll get some controversy with my decision making, but in my opinion, GUNTER SCHLIERKAMP would get a slight edge in this comparison, and I mean slight. For you freak fans, you mass monster fans, Markus Ruhl gets the easy victory. He was bigger, thicker, perhaps more vascular, but at the end of the day, Gunter was just so dry, and a much smaller waistline. So he gets the edge, guys. And these are known as two of the greatest physiques in any point in history of all time. But anyway, I think Dr. Phil Heath 2011 would have something to say about that. Hope you guys enjoyed this comparison. Go ahead to hit thumbs up if you did. Find me on Instagram, follow me, everything helps. You get some behind the scenes training, footage, things of that nature. All right, guys, have a good day.